Welcome to the January edition of Joy in the Journey. Your host, Frank Youngworth, as well as my co-host, Father Dr. Joe Boydsel, who will be with you a little bit later on. As we go into the new year, 2011, first, Happy New Year. I hope it's a blessed and joyous year for all of our viewers and all of our church members. We're going to have a series of 2 programs to start off the year that'll feature the pastor Paul Philo and his wife Pam. The 2 of them took a journey to the Holy Land in 2010, and they came to the church in late December in order to share with us photographs and also a story about that wonderful journey to the Holy Land. So as we go forth here in our January program, let me now introduce Pastor Paul Philo, and he will start the program about their journey to the Holy Land.
How wonderful to have you here and to be able to share with you our trip to Israel. We had no intention really of making a presentation when we returned. It's only when we got back here that we were asked, well, why don't you share with us some of the places you went to and saw? And we decided, well, okay, let's see what we can put together. So this is a little amateur job of putting the pictures together. We hope you enjoy it. This is Pam and Paul, and we picked up a flight quickly in Philadelphia. And we found out, to our dismay, that there was only one seat, so that Pam had to sit on my lap the whole way to Israel. I'm joking, of course, but notice this man in the back. He's wondering what's going on with this couple. End of it. Well, we took off for Jaffa. This is a picture of Jaffa, and St. John's, actually, church and a seminary is in this place, and it's just across from Tel Aviv. You'll just see it in a moment. This is one of the earliest places. There's a reference to St. Peter, who visited a tanner in Jaffa. That's how far back it goes to those days. And we walked the grounds there, and we looked back through the palm trees, and there's Tel Aviv, a very, very modern city. We'll see some more pictures of that later on. I can't tell you what's in the foreground here, but just some, I think, buildings used to supply the people in Jaffa itself with water and other services. Wherever we went, there was a wonderful tour guide, usually an indigenous person. This was a young Jewish fellow who had a job, but spent a couple of months every year in the military. And he knew every place in that part of the world very well. And this is a piece of statuary called Hope. Even the catalogs and books that I studied could not tell me what it meant. I guess the artist never revealed it exactly. But he's standing in front of that and lecturing then about Tel Aviv in the background. This is a rise in the topography there. And in back of us was that monastery I mentioned, or that school, St. John's. Some of the people listening. We went to a home there in Jaffa, which is known for its art. It's a very well-to-do area. It had run down, but now was building up, and artists were buying into this area. And one of them was Elena Gore, G-O-O-R. You can look her up online. She makes wonderful gifts, jewelry, chairs, all sorts of things, clothing and so forth. And this was her home overlooking the Mediterranean on the left. The house itself is a museum. It's just an absolutely stunning place. And of course, this is the beginning of our journey, so we took a lot of pictures. So we'll run through these quickly. But out there is the Mediterranean. And so you have this wonderful house built quite high up, and all this glass around looking out over the Mediterranean. Some of the things she collected. Some of it is traditional materials used at the time of the Crusades. I can't explain what these are, but she collected teapots and coffee pots, and these were in her kitchen, a working kitchen, with arched windows that you could look out on the city of Jaffa, Tel Aviv, and she would do this, have this to look at every day. Look at this. What a place to cook, huh? There you can see a sailboat out there on the waters. And here, in her collection of things, were some religious pieces. No explanation for these. She didn't have any there, but it was like a museum, and we went throughout the house. This is an interesting one, a crucifixion with birds on it. She is known for her birds. In fact, if you go online, that's one of the things she has sold more of. She's sold through Macy's, Neiman Marcus, that kind of thing. Now, we had lunch, and then we took off for Tel Aviv itself. The tour didn't concentrate entirely on holy matters, religious things, but showed us the countryside. And this was the Bauhaus buildings, or buildings along this way, are built back, quite a ways back in the 30s, but developed by the Jews before the time that it became their own state, really. This is one of the fountains in front of the town hall, which is on the left. And there's our tour guide, Matt, standing there. And I took this time just to sit down and rest and enjoy the city. It's a very modern, contemporary city. Pam took the walking tour and all through these streets. This is one of the early pioneers of the settlement of Judaism, and on the left is the town hall. This is an Israeli flag, as you well know, with the Jewish star on it. This was a commemoration of Yitzhak Rabin. Yitzhak Rabin is one of the ones that put together the Oslo peace accords. And sadly, the story is that with President Carter at that time, Yitzhak went back to his own country, and people there thought he had betrayed them, at least a radical did, and killed him right on the street, right in front of this place. And this shows the building built in his name, where a lot of groups meet primarily to work on peace matters. There's some of the pictures of Yitzhak Rabin as a young person with his, I think, his son there in the merry-go-round there in Israel. And we're listening intently. There it is, Yitzhak Rabin, and in Hebrew as well. Now we go back. After spending a day in Tel Aviv, that evening we head back to our hotel, and this is the hotel. You saw pictures of it on the inside. Now we're right across, we're standing where we took the picture actually. This is the Mediterranean. And the people of the city have put together a beautiful park along the waterfront there, along the Mediterranean, and people bicycle ride or run or fish even. From this, they took the stones from the area and pulled them over, put this design in the walkway. It's quite lovely, quite lovely. Now a day has passed. We went to bed, we got up, and we're heading north. But we're beginning our trip in Tel Aviv, which is along the Mediterranean, and we're going to be heading north. And the first city, major city we come to from the ancient past is Caesarea. Caesarea, you know, hear the word Caesar in that name. It was Caesar, named in glory, built by Herod, but given as adulation of Caesar, who was then the ruler of that whole part of the Roman Empire. And this is the city, the town they built. Sadly, through the ages, these things are destroyed by those who invade and torn down, one group after the other. But they've unearthed this, and what we're looking at is a seaport that was built there on the Mediterranean. Absolutely astounding place. And the seaport would run out there. There would be buildings on the left. Some of the pillars are left. But mind you, I was there about 10, 15 years ago. None of this was present. And since that time that I was there, they dug out so much, built it up, and created the area itself. Next.